make sure that there's a clear boundary line, that you are the adult and they're the students. You know this just as well as I do, that when you have an issue maybe in your marriage, or just an issue that's going on in your life, make sure you're not talking about that to them. Make sure that you remember that there's a boundary, and they are a junior high student, you're an adult, and we don't cross that line. At any point, if we try to become friends with them, then we're not benefiting them, because they already have enough friends. We want to build into them. We want to have that relationship with them, but we never want to cross that line and become like one of their friends. We're like, hey, do you want to go to the football game on Friday night? Or, except for if we want to build into their lives. So make sure you understand that. And like I said, you guys do a great job of that. The schedule. I did put together a schedule, and you will all be receiving that. I think I put it up until December. I can't remember if I went all the way until spring, but we're going to run small groups through the school year. And we're going to take some time off for Christmas, because Christmas gets so crazy. I think we go up to December 12th, and then we take everything off until like January, the second week in January. That just gives you guys a break. It gives them a break. It's so busy anyhow that we just need that time. But again, to empower you, make sure that if the schedule does not work, that is totally cool. Right now, we're planning on having the small groups meet on Sunday night during the fourth service. So that'd be like 6 to 7:30, right around there. But if you said, hey, I need 2 hours, I can't do it in that amount of time, just make sure you let me know, that you let Stephanie know, and make sure that we can communicate that with the parents, so that the parents know. I know I already have one small group that said, hey, can we meet at 5 on Sunday? We want to go from 5 to 6, and then go up as a small group and worship together. Totally cool with me. Whatever you guys need to do to make it work, do it. Just kind of to give you guys some ideas of the outline of the night. Some of you, this will be the first time that you've ever done a small group. Others, you've been doing small groups since we started them. And so I just wanted to make sure that for the new people, that you have an idea of what's going on, what to expect. For the veteran leaders, maybe it'll just be a time where you get a couple new ideas or something like that. So first and foremost, make sure you welcome all the students. Make sure you're talking to each and every one of them. As soon as you can, remember their names. Talk to them by name. Ask them how life is going. What I do a lot of times, I'll write down if they had a sporting event. For those of you who are on Facebook, I'll go and I'll check up on the kids before like Wednesday night or Sunday morning. I'll see what their status updates are, and so I make sure I ask about, if they said, hey, I had a volleyball game, or I had this, or a baseball game. I write it down, and I make sure that when I see them, I say, hey, how did you do? Just to kind of build into them. Have some talk time. They're going to need some time just to unwind. They're going to want to talk to each other and find out how things are going in their own lives. There's a cool game that I heard about. It's called the high-low game. And you go around, and each person, the first round, they have to say one highlight of the last 2 weeks. And so each person will talk about the highest highlight that happened in the last 2 weeks. And then you go around again, and you say, what was the low light? What was one of the things that just was like, oh, that hurt, or I didn't like that? And that's cool, because that could lead into some really cool discussions. So a highlight, a low light. Make sure you do some sort of activity. It can be whatever you want. Make sure that you guys always know, if you need help with activities, you can always contact me and say, hey, I need some ideas. The Dream Rider is almost always available, unless I'm riding it around the church, but I would sacrifice and let you guys use it. We've played Dream Rider Tag. We've played Dream Rider Obstacle Course in the guys' small groups. We've done a lot of things with the Dream Rider. And so if you ever wanted to use that, just let me know. We'll make sure that we can get it to as many groups as possible. Just different things like that that you can do. Make sure that there's a lesson. The curriculum that I'm suggesting has like a 5 to 7 minute video, and then there's discussion questions that go along with the video. All the video talks about, like, why is the Bible true? They talk a lot about the Bible. We talk about our creed, what we believe, and then we're going to finish up the last probably month, 2 months with some tough questions about our religion and our faith. One of the reasons, especially for the small group, the girl small groups, that I'm going this route instead of doing like a self-esteem or some junior high girl issues, is I think we need to have a good understanding of the Bible and understanding what a Christian or biblical perspective, and then looking at ourselves through that perspective. But I think it all goes back to getting that biblical perspective first, and making sure that we know that the Bible's true, accurate, we know what we believe, and then we can look at everything else from there. And so I want to see how it works. If you'd be willing to kind of join with me, girl small group leaders, I think that would be awesome. We have some discussion questions, like I said, and then make sure that you have some time for prayer. Do prayer requests, write them down, ask them about it in 2 weeks, even like on a Wednesday night. Make sure that you're like, all right, what's going on? How's things going? Different things like that. A couple different options that I found that I thought were pretty cool. 15 minutes of quiet. Our students get so crazy and so busy during the week that they never have time just to sit and relax. And so one guy that I was reading his blog said, every once in a while in our small group, we just take 15 minutes where we read the Bible or we pray. And then afterwards, we just say, hey, what would God do for you in those 15 minutes? And they said it really sparked some good discussion. And so I wouldn't do that every week, but I think that's a cool idea to do it every once in a while. Another option for prayer time, especially for the guys, because we have a hard time as junior hires praying. Pray for, or thank God for 25 things that nobody else has ever thought to thank God for. This is just a great way for junior high guys, especially, just to be like, all right, what can I thank God for that nobody else ever has? It can be, thank God for the mud that gets stuck in between the scales of a snake's stomach or something like that. The crazier, hey, it's getting them thinking, it's getting them in the idea, in the mode of, I need to thank God for everything, not just the major things, but even the littlest of things. And I had a girl that's in senior high that she came back and she said, I remember you said to do that when I was in 7th grade, and I've tried to do that almost every day. I try to come up with 10 things that nobody has ever thought to thank God for. And it's just a great way to start learning how to pray, and I think that's cool. Bible reading journal. I'm really big on this. As a small group, you could assign a book of the Bible and say, hey, we're going to start going through the book of Hebrews, and go at your own pace, but I want you to get a notebook, and I want you to have 3 columns. The first column, I want you to write verses that you think are really cool. Like, this is a life verse. This is something I want to remember. In the middle column, you can write things that you don't understand. Like, why in the world was that verse in there? What was it talking about? It made absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. And then the third column, they can just write the funniest verses that they found. Especially if you're going through some of the Old Testament ones, Old Testament books, you can come up with some really funny verses, and I think that's important, and it gets them looking for some of those funny verses, but they also find the verses that are going to stick with them for their life. And so then when they come every 2 weeks, say, hey, in the book of Hebrews, what was one funny verse you found? What was one cool verse that you found? And what was one verse that just made you question? I think that's a fun thing to do. And so with that, again, I just want to say thank you. At any point, if you guys have any questions, we're going to try to continuously feed you like discussion questions, resources, all that stuff to help this be the best and most effective small group for you guys. I appreciate it so much. I know for so many students that have already gone through small groups, it has been a major influence in their life. They felt comfortable with you, and when they needed to ask somebody about some of the tough questions, they knew they could go and talk to you guys. And so I appreciate what you're doing. Unfortunately, the junior hires will not most likely say thank you. At some point they probably will, but not for years down the road. And so I appreciate what you're doing. I want to say thanks for what you're doing. And if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call, give me an email. You can contact my assistant Stephanie. She'll help, and we'll do what we can. All right. Thanks a lot.